It is Aftershocks right here on AftershocksTV.com. And with us today is a vocalist who you may have heard from his previous band, but he's escaped that now, and he's on with his own self-titled project, simply called Hjelvik. The new album is called Welcome to Hell. It's out November 20th, and welcome to the show, the vocalist and the main man himself, Mr. Hjelvik. How are you, sir?
Hey, man. Thanks. I'm doing really good. Happy to be here.
Certainly, man. Well, Hjelvik, obviously, new situation for you. Maybe not new, but starting over a little bit. So talk a little bit about this, man. Is it exciting to kind of venture out and do things, from scratch more or less, or is it frustrating because you had already built up such a legacy, or where does that feel for you?
No, it's not been frustrating at all. It's just been, actually, it's been feeling really liberating. And yeah, it's been feeling great from the start. Like, I left my old band summer 2018, and then I had a few months off, and I just started writing music. Like, at first, I wasn't even sure I could pull off writing a whole album, but then I just started writing music just to see, how it would go. And then, like, after writing 2 or 3 songs, then I was thinking, like, okay, I can do this. And a couple of months after, I'd written a whole album's worth of music and lyrics. And yeah, found some guys, and I went to a studio to record it. So it's been a lot of fun.
Excellent. Now talk a little bit about exactly what this project Hjelvik is. Is it a band, or is it a solo thing where you'll have interchanging parts? I guess, is it a Dave Mustaine type of a project where it's always going to be you, but there might be interchangeable pieces in the future, or how do you envision it?
Yeah, I like to call it a solo band because, I write the music and the lyrics, and it's my name on the cover.
Okay.
And no, but I hope, that the guys that I found, they were really great musicians, and I would love to have them, stay as long as they can. So, yeah, so that's the plan. I don't have any plans to have, like, a revolving door, but whatever. It's, we'll have to see how it goes.
Sure, definitely. Well, it's going well so far. Welcome to Hell is like I told you right before we started, it's not exactly what I expected anyway. I really expected kind of a clone of your old band, and you really seem to have taken, I don't want to say made it more metal, because that's not really fair to what you were doing before, but it really seems like you purposely went and incorporated some different elements into it. Black metal comes to mind right off the top, is some really interesting vocal things that you did, so talk a little bit about that. Were you actively trying to sound different, or did you feel limited in the past, and this really opened you up to do more things that you wanted to do?
Well, to me, it kind of feels like I'm doing the thing I've always been doing, and like this is kind of like what I try to bring to the table in my old band is, with the stuff I would write lyrics about and my vocal style, and also some musical input. But now it's just I'm doing it, at like in the 6th gear, so to speak. Right. So yeah, it's just a showcase of my whole musical taste. Like, I have my musical influences, which is like everything from classic rock to black metal. So that comes out in my writing, and the lyrics. I'm still interested in the same stuff, Norse mythology, and even though it's a little more I'm a little more serious about it now than I used to be. Like, before, I was kind of a little more lighthearted, but yeah. So I think it's just more of a 100% me this time, where as before, people only got like a tiny part of what I was about in the band with other guys. So
sure. Now, something interesting that I read in the press, so we'll take that for whatever it's worth. You can tell me that it's all bullshit, or you can tell me that it's absolutely true. Is that you didn't listen to metal very much previously when you were on tour? Like, you wouldn't listen to it at all. And and once you left your old band, that's when you really started listening to metal again. Is that true?
It's probably a little exaggerated, but there was a point in time where I was pretty burnt out on touring, because there were times where we did like 200 shows a year, and I was pretty fed up with stuff and was feeling kind of bad in general. So it's not like, I don't know, I just kind of lost the interest I had in like finding new bands. Like I didn't have that same excitement anymore. And yeah, also from just performing music just kind of, yeah, turned me off to listening to like heavy music, like when I finally had some time off. It's a little hard when your ears are like constantly ringing and stuff. So,
Right.
so it's definitely helped to, get some time off, and that's, yeah, just really kind of rediscover my love for metal again. Like,
Sure.
It feels like I've been regressing in a way, because I've recently been loving a lot of the things I really loved when I was like in my early 20s and, even a teenager. So that's been cool.
Sure. Do you think that going and I'll say rediscovering metal, which is kind of not exactly it, but finding the passion for it again, do you think that influenced your writing and your work on this new record?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. It's like I said, we can call it rekindling or whatever,
Sure.
because it was never gone, but it's just my enthusiasm is just back with full force. And I don't know, I was just having so much fun writing the music and listening to music too, and discovering new bands and old bands, and just diving into classics that I hadn't listened to in a long time. So it's just everything kind of seeped into this. I'm not going to call it project. I hate that term because it sounds like it's only one album I'm going to put out. Yeah, into this solo band. So
no question. Now, Hjelvik, with the new solo band and obviously the release coming of Welcome to Hell, there is that element, like we said before, of sort of a start over. And certainly you're not going to start playing clubs for 20 people and building an audience. I mean, you've certainly got you've got enough reputation where you don't have to do that. But obviously you were in one of the biggest and most popular bands in Norway, which has a very, like you said yourself, you played 200 shows a year, which is an insane amount of shows. Do you feel like you have to kind of scale it back to start up again, or do you plan on trying to come in where you left off just without the other band?
Yeah, I'm expecting there will be like a little bit of a setback, because I'm not expecting everyone who loved what I did in my old band to automatically jump on board. But no, I think I'll get a lot of new fans too with my new music, or at least that's what I hope. So yeah, it would be great if I can just continue where I left off, but I probably will, I kind of have to see how it goes when we go on tour, but I think it's going to be great. And, right now the big problem is Corona putting sticks in the wheel, or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
So, yeah, the plan here in Norway, at least, is to start touring for the spring next year. Right now you can play shows for like the capacity of 200 people, so that doesn't work. But when they open it up to like 500 or 600 capacity, then we can start doing stuff here in Norway. So, it's going to be like a little dialed back when we start touring, just because of the COVID situation anyway. So it'll be a nice way to ease into things, I guess.
It certainly will. Do you with the COVID thing, I've been asking everybody lately what it will take for them to be comfortable to tour, because everybody has a different attitude. Some people are like, if there's not a vaccine, I'm not leaving my house. There's other people that are like, hey, if the government says I can be on tour, I'll be on a stage tomorrow. So where do you stand with it? When will you be comfortable enough to get out there and play shows again?
I think it's just going to be a matter of when the booking agent says it's okay and the government says it's okay. I think it's probably going to be different in every country, but once Norway says it's okay to play for 1,000 people, then I'm not going to be scared to do that or worrying because, you know, so I'll just go along with the guidelines there.
Definitely. Now, Hjelvik, you know, you mentioned it earlier, and I certainly noticed it listening to Welcome to Hell. Yeah, a lot of the songs steeped in Norse mythology or heritage. I don't know which word you're supposed to use there, but either the heritage of the Norse or the mythology of the Norse, or somewhat of a mixture of the two.
Well, it's both, yeah.
Okay. What is it about the Norse heritage there in Norway that so many bands from there write about it? Is it similar to like here in the United States where a lot of the metal bands write about Christianity, whether it's good or bad? Is it that same kind of a you know, interest that's there? Is it taught there, or is it just something that you all just sort of gravitate to, you know, investigating the stories of?
I feel like there's more bands singing about Christianity here too. About, you know, we've had Christianity for a long time here as well. But yeah, I wish they taught more of it in school, because it's like, at least when I was a kid in school, it wasn't like a big part of the syllabus or curriculum or whatever. So yeah, I think they should teach more of it. I don't know what it's like now, but I guess definitely metal helped me gravitate towards it. You know, bands like Enslaved and a lot of older black metal bands who wrote about that types of things made me interested in learning more. So yeah, I think that's the case for probably a lot of bands and metalheads who get interested in Norse mythology. So
sure. What is it for you that led you to it? Was it just that you liked hearing the stories, or did you have a passion to learn more about it, or what was it for you?
Yeah, for me, it's just fascinating because, you know, it is part of our culture, but it's also can like reading the stories can teach you, you know, what the mindset of people back in, you know, year 700 or 800, how they were thinking. So that's interesting to me. And yeah, I just think it, you know, like the material is just great for metal music, which is kind of primeval in a way, and it's very like bombastic, and it's like very black and white, and that kind of just suits. Yeah, you know, writing lyrics about mythology just kind of goes with the music in that way, I think.
Sure. Do you look at the success of some other bands that also feature that and say, yep, it's the perfect time for it? Like I'll point to Amon Amarth as a obvious example. I mean, they've taken it to a whole nother level with the crowds, you know, mock rowing boats and everything else. But
yeah,
you know, it just seems like the time is right now where universally across the globe it's being accepted, you know, a lot more than it used to be in the past.
Yeah, I definitely see there's a resurgence in it, but I'm not trying to capitalize on that or anything. It's just I've always had an interest for it, and like on the first Kvelertak album, I wrote a bunch of songs about Norse mythology too, but and then I started, you know, diversifying more just to kind of keep it kind of open there. But yeah, just a few last years I've been really diving into books a lot more, and, you know, just diving deeper into the material and learning more. So yeah, it just kind of never stops fascinating me, and I learn new stuff all the time. And like I read a cool story, and then it's like, okay, I have to write a song about that, or a song title comes up. So yeah, so it's just very inspirational.
Excellent. Now Hjelvik, new album, Welcome to Hell. When you're creating something, you know, all by yourself versus how you've done in the past as a collaborative thing, a lot of times when you find that the music changes, especially when you bring in new guys that you're not as familiar with. You know, was that the case for you, or did the songs come out almost exactly how you heard them when you wrote them?
Yeah, they came out the way I wanted them to be, because it's just been great. I've been writing the music and stuff, and then I have these great players being able to take my vision and then play it the way it's supposed to sound. So yeah, it's been, you know, there's a little bit of a learning curve in the beginning to, you know, how you work together, but then we settled into it pretty quickly, and it's been great, shooting emails back and forth, and then getting the demos right, and then recording the actual songs in the studio. So
sure. Do you envision it staying that way, or do you think that, maybe after touring or whatnot, and you get more of a feel for working with your band, that maybe you'll bring them into somewhat of the creative process, maybe on future records?
No, I think I'm gonna stick to doing it this way. I've always kind of liked working alone. Yeah, like I used to be that way with lyrics too. Like I've had it suggested, like, oh, maybe we can collaborate on lyrics or something, and it's like, like I freeze up because I don't cooperate well. I just need to sit by myself and have like my thoughts and just work on it, and then when I'm ready to show something, then I can show it. So it's just how I operate.
Certainly. Now, right now, obviously, with the pandemic, what are you actually doing? Are you collaborating with your band guys, on more material, or are you on vacation? What are you what are you doing at this point, since you can't get out there and work?
Definitely not vacation. Right now, it's just been really busy in rolling out this release. Like I'm doing interviews. I wouldn't call it work. It's fun, but here in Norway, we have our own record label too that we're gonna put. I say we. I'm talking about my wife, who is my manager and who's running the label with me. So we have a lot of work in putting the album out here in Norway as well, because we're doing it by ourselves here. So it's just nonstop work, pretty much. But yeah, but it's great. It's fun to learn, like all the steps that goes into putting a record out. So it's just been a great process. So
sure, definitely. Now, one last thing that has nothing to do with your music, but is obviously a big deal right now for bands, is this the technology issue and the streaming specifically. For somebody like yourself that's putting out a new project, do you hesitate putting it out, knowing that the minute it comes out, it's going to be on Spotify and YouTube and whatever, and it dissuades people from actually purchasing it and reading the credits and doing the things that we all used to do as kids, or is it just kind of, well, that's the game we're in now and gotta just go forward?
Yeah, I started putting out records in 2010, so we had Spotify back then too, I think.
Okay.
I think we did. I can't remember for sure now.
Actually, we had Apple or iTunes or whatnot.
Yeah, something like. At least there were MP3s. Yeah, so I think I was like, or we were probably like one of the last bands to get to experience actually selling a lot of CDs and stuff like that, because we sold the first album to gold, and then it was more and more streaming and less physical products in a way. So yeah, but I don't blame people. The important thing is that people listen to the music. I don't care if they listen to it on Spotify or if they buy the LP. Of course, it would be great for me if everyone buys physical records, but the important thing is that you check out the music and come to the shows. So
sure. And it does seem, at least from my experience, and I'm definitely older than you, that metalheads have always and will always buy physical product at shows. If they like music, they'll go, and even if they're not going to listen to the CD, and I'm sure you get this a lot, they'll buy the CD just to get the autograph and
yeah, exactly,
on your shelf.
Yeah, or they buy a T-shirt. So as long as they support the band, it doesn't matter how they do it. Really, like the important thing is that they come to a show, and it's cool if they listen to it on Spotify, and yeah, whatever floats your boat.
Well, I got to tell you the truth. You're one of the first that's ever said that to me. Usually I mention Spotify, and then it's a lot of cuss words coming out of band guys.
Yeah, I guess maybe if I was older, I would cuss more, but I'm, I'm used to that listening to music in a certain way too. Like I grew up with Napster and thought that was great when I was a teenager.
Sure.
So when I couldn't afford records. So
I hear you, man.
yeah.
Well, people that can afford should afford the new one from Hjelvik. It is called Welcome to Hell. It's out November 20th. And it's definitely, if you like metal, this is a record you definitely want to get. So, Hjelvik, tell people where they should go online to keep up with you and find out if and when the touring starts, where you'll be, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, we have a website called hjelvikmetal.com. Probably need help spelling that. It's HJELVIK metal.com. And there you can find merch, links, and tour information when we are able to put that up, hopefully soon, and all kinds of stuff. So
excellent. Well, everybody should definitely check that out. And again, check out the new album, Welcome to Hell, November 20th. It is Hjelvik. So Hjelvik, thanks so much for coming on Aftershocks.
Yeah, thank you so much. Pleasure to be here.
Thanks for listening to Aftershocks. For more episodes, go to our website at www.aftershockspodcast.com. Visit us on our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages for more news and information on the podcast, and be sure to subscribe, listen to, and review all episodes on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all other podcast platforms. For your music listening pleasure, visit our website or go to www.shockwavesradio.com. For all comments and questions, please email us at info@aftershockspodcast.com.